what did your parents want you to be? Because like when we're talking about like old school parents, they always seem to have like a plan for you, like way ahead, like, okay, this is what we want you to be.
I'm going to give you a big guess. Like, guess what my parents wanted me to be?
A doctor?
Yeah.
There you go, you see?
Yeah, they wanted me to become a doctor. My dad wanted me to become a doctor. My older brother is a doctor.
Yeah.
So I think it's just that thing of my child.
How many doctors do you need in the family, though?
Right? Yeah, but if you know me, you know that was not I would not have lasted. I do not like medicine, injections, anything that has to do with human suffering.
Blood.
Yeah, that's not me.
Yeah.
So, but I think I was also just lucky that I got my first choice, which was law. So there was very little wriggle room. Like I got what I wanted, and that's what I got called for. So I actually ended up pursuing what I wanted to pursue. So I can say I'm lucky in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you practice law?
No. No.
Now you see, I see. So what made you transition and just, take that leap of faith and, and even like, let's say maybe for parents, they're like, what do you mean? Maybe, like, how do you break that news to them? Or were they open to you? Like, just, did you try the corporate world before you moved because we just want to understand how you ended up being, like, maneuvering to go to the direction and just being the CEO of Enda?
I think it's less to do with where I am and just more to do with my philosophy of what I believe in life. So my mom will tell you, I always tell her, like, life is one. And that's something I am very, I don't know if, at first I used to think it was a bad thing because, we Africans, we are superstitious, we don't think about death.
Yeah.
But I think every day I wake up, I recognize that I have 24 hours. Right?
Yeah.
And I know that I am not guaranteed tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that always gives me an urgency of, I don't want to be that person who gets to my deathbed and I'm like, guy, I didn't do this, I didn't do that.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, my husband will tell you, it drives him insane sometimes. He's like, you're doing too much, like, stop doing this. But I'm like, if I can do it today,
why not?
Yeah, let me do it today. So I think that was just the thing. And basically, I stayed in Deloitte for some time. And then I think at that point, I was like, okay, I need to find something more from the industry. Because back then you're doing consulting. So you're literally just coming to tell guys what's wrong with their business. So I just felt like it was time to move on. I tried a few places, but I think I still wasn't sure what I wanted to be.
By a few places, what do you mean? I want to know about all, like maybe if you experimented with this kind of job, and then you're like, oh, you know what, this is not for me.
Yeah, I did audit and risk management, which was fulfilling up to a certain extent. But then I wanted something, I don't know, I just wanted to feel like I've done something. I don't know how to describe it. Like, you just feel like I need to do something that
like
gives
a purpose.
me...
Just a sense of purpose, direction, something that's you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I was looking for in different places. So I continued with my audit work, and then at some point I had a chance to... Actually, the funny thing is, I'd say the turning point of my life was a summer program I attended at London School of Economics. Oof. So, yeah, man, it was expensive. It was expensive, and I didn't have the money. And, I don't think my husband and I weren't married then.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, I need to go. Like, I had this... I don't know. It was just this thing. You
just feel like that, like it's a gut feeling that I need to do this. Yeah.
And it was a 3-week program. Okay. So my husband, bless him, he took a loan. We were talking about loans earlier.
Wow.
He took a loan and took me to London.
and you see where the conversation was behind the scenes. I was talking about like how I have like these friends who their girlfriends convinced them to take loans.
I was one of that girlfriend. I didn't convince him. We're not taking a loan to buy something.
Yeah, it's not a car and it's not like,
Yeah, but also granted at that point there were some people who are like,
were you married then?
No,
like right now, if I'm dating anyone, there is no way. Like if there's no ring, in that finger. There is no way I'm going to do that
I'm
for
not
you.
going to comment because I don't know how this comments will go.
No, okay.
I leave that.
Okay, yeah.
But so I think at that point I just felt it so deep. Like I really wanted to go to LSE and just see what is this big school all about.
Yeah.
And I think I'd also read pretty much a lot about it. Kibaki went there, Jomo Kenyatta went there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I also have a very active imagination.
All the greats though.
Yes, I was just like, I want to go to see this school.
Yeah.
So I went to the summer school for 3 weeks, and I would say they were the 3 weeks that changed my life. I'm not kidding, right? But I'm not saying 3 weeks at LSE will change your life. This was my experience.
No, that's you and what you had, like the motivation behind it.
Yeah, and also just the people I met. I always say those people I met at that class, they are like my best friends to date. Like we formed a bond in ways that I always look back and I'm like, what was it about that course that brought together people who somehow were on the same path, though in different places. And I met people from Mauritius, from Zimbabwe, from Ghana, from Morocco, and it felt like your tribe, you know. I just met this
because you all have like the same mindset and everything, and it's hard to find that.
It's very hard. I always go back and I'm like, I don't know how that lady, the one who was curating the program, picked all of us. But she knew what she was doing. So going to LSE just opened my eyes in ways that I hadn't seen before. We were just discussing Africa, the future, the challenges and stuff like that, and it just gave me this whole idea of I stopped thinking here and I started thinking bigger. You know, like
everybody keeps telling me that. You need to put yourself out there.
Exactly. I just started thinking like we need to do something, because the things that face Africa are of such large scale that we cannot afford to be 54 countries dealing with other tinier issues. We kind of need to come together because there's too much facing us. So anyway, back to the story. I came back from LSE. That was in 2012. And in 2013, it happened that LSE, that the program that I went for, transformed from being a 3-week program to a master's program. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so applying.
You have to go back.
I want to go back. But the beauty, I always look at that step and I'm like, I think the purpose of that 3-week course study was to put people in my life who would help me along the way. And so when I applied, all my friends were like, oh yeah, this is amazing, do this. I had so much help. And it just happened, you know, like you're like preparing for an interview and you're thinking, I have all my documents together. And then when I go there, I'm like, wait, I didn't know the person who was interviewing was actually someone I met during that. I know, it was such a coincidence. You know, when you walk into a room and you see someone you know, and I was like, oh my God, you should disclose that you know me. We did make full disclosure. But I just, you know, like when you go into something and I knew I was getting that thing. Like I just knew, because we had interacted, they knew me, so I was not going to like bullshit anything. And I went to do international development, so I did my master's the year after. And it was 100% fully paid scholarship. Like you guys have no idea how like to live in London without having to worry about costs.
Because I know it's one of the most expensive places to actually stay.
Exactly.
And I can imagine school fees on top of it.
It is. And one thing I learned from my time at LSE was just, I kept thinking, how do we make ordinary Kenyans have this experience? Because I'm an ordinary person. I don't come from a rich background. But just, I felt like it was such a privilege to be there that we need to kind of just invest and figure out a way to make our people like be more exposed.
Because you see, I think the problem comes when now you have a very different mindset, the way you're thinking and approaching things, and then the people around you are don't seem to connect with your vision. They're like, what exactly are you talking about? What are these ideas that you're talking about?
People who see what you're talking about.
But like you've said, it's hard. But the only way we can break that cycle is now educating or giving people information to understand how they can get into such programs.
But I also have to say people have to look for the information, because if you're not looking, it's not going to come on a silver
this
platter.
social media era, like what are people chasing? Are people chasing?
In fact, I say we're in the age of most information. Internet will give you what you're looking for. If you're looking for fishy things, it'll give you fishy things. If you're looking for empowerment, you'll find empowerment. So I just say it's up to you and what you're looking for. But I think I just had this thing that I wanted to be more, and I just felt like I could do more. Anyway, so I went to LSE. I did a course in international development, and then international development also you find yourself in classes where you're like the only African student. And I think the one that changed my life, we were discussing about African politics and all that, and we were talking about East and West. And then you have students from Europe and America just talking about how China is messing up Africa. And the Chinese students are like, you guys should be the ones to talk, right? Look at all this legacy. And I started there, I was like, hello, I'm here.
I'm here. Do you guys understand that I'm here?
And so I had that feeling that people were determining our destiny.
Which is true.
I was just like, why should they get to decide what happens to Africa, as if I, as an African, do not have agency?
And you exist.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I came back, I was like, man, I have to do something that's kind of just big and telling the African story. I'm a huge fan of sports. So I started initially, it was a tennis academy, then it transformed into a sports academy in Bungoma.
You started?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
In Bungoma, because, you don't need much by the way, guys. One thing I also learned is people have these fancy ideas. This was just a piece of land my brother gave me, and we built a brick house, and we called students, and we set up a school. It was not fancy, but it's the content of like what you're giving the students.
But here's the thing. How many people will think like that? A tennis in Bungoma? Come on, you see, it's
shout
a
out
very
to the Luya guys. We have muscles.
It's very rare to get people like they're just stay thinking. Because if you
exposure,
like a normal person, you tell them like I have a piece of land in Western, what would they say? Like, okay, let's do the maize thing. Let's plant maize. Yeah, there you go. You see.
Full disclosure, we planted maize. It doesn't work.
But you see, for you to just hop onto that with that kind of mind, it's completely different. Yeah, so please, and then?
So tennis was actually inspired. I'm a huge Serena Williams fan. That lady inspires me to depths I don't know. And at that time when I was at LSE, I also got, I was in the Wimbledon fever. Like when you go to the trains and they're packed. And everybody is going to watch. There was just this fever. And then I was like, wait, how much money is the winner getting again? And then I'm like, what? Kenya's doing this game. We can totally crush it. But tennis is not like running where you just wake up. There's technicalities. You need expensive equipment. You need a court. So I just basically thought, like kids who can have that opportunity to learn about it can do so much more. How about we do that? So I started with a tennis academy. Then shortly afterwards, it was very hard to do that. I got a job outside the country, and then telephone management, don't do it.
And in Kenya especially, like it's tricky.
It was just very hectic. And then secondly, I think I was like, okay, I wanted to create something bigger, and I feel like, yes, the school is a good thing to start, but you're just impacting like maybe 10, 15 kids.
I feel.
What if you're thinking something big? So I ended up being in a program by YGAP Kenya. They were called Spark by then. Now they changed to YGAP. And basically went through this 1-week program, and we were discussing like how to refine your business. And I always laugh because I went in with a tennis academy and I came out with a sports shoe.
Something completely different.
Something completely different. But what was amazing was that my co-founder was one of the people who had come to listen to what's going on. So when I was sitting in the crowd, I was like, this is what I'm doing, and I feel like Kenya has so much potential. We are barely tapping into it. And after that discussion, we just started to talk, and he was like, I totally agree with what you're saying. Like, it's not fair. Kenyans are used for marketing and all this kind of stuff. And then we started talking. And then our talks led to how can we make, like, if you are to make an impact, what would that be?
And
then you're like, of course, it has to be running, and it has to be running shoes. And they're like, And then I'm like, you know what? Let's make running shoes. It was such a joke.
Just like randomly, and then you're like,
and then I was like, I was like, yeah, okay, let's make running shoes.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm not joking, you know. I'm like, do I
Let's
look like I'm joking?
let's actually do it. Yeah.
Let's do it. So then we met a week after, and we just talked and talked and talked. And I think after that, we just started doing the work. And Enda is here.